Hello, sportsman. Hey, if you ever wanted to go hunting with me, this is your lucky day because for the next 2 days, you and I are going to be together for the opening of Michigan's firearm deer season. We're going to start up around Petoskey. We're going to end up down in Washtenaw County. It's going to be great. Stay tuned. I'm Fred Trost. We're going to go deer hunting on the Practical Sportsman. It is the 14th of November, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We have a couple hours until sunset. We're up here at Petoskey, overlooking Lake Michigan, Little Traverse Bay. The air is cool, crisp. It's not snowing, it's not raining. We don't have really any of that in the forecast, I don't think. I mean, I don't know. You never know the opening of deer season. We're going to be hunting. In fact, here's our itinerary for the next 2 days. You're going to be with me hunting. We're going to be somewhere up in here. We haven't checked out the spot yet, but we will in just a few minutes. Somewhere up in this area, north of what appears on the DNR maps as a high-density deer area. So we're just right around Petoskey. We're going to hunt this opening day tomorrow from dawn until dark. Then we're going to get in the car and we're going to head downstate to Washtenaw County. Now, where we're hunting in Washtenaw County is just south of another area, which the DNR says is a high deer concentration area. So we're going to have the second day of the season down there. We're going to close our opening 2-day report at the buck pole at Mill Creek Sports in Dexter, where we should have. Last year, there were quite a few big bucks there, and we'll see what this deer season brings. So that's our itinerary. You're going to be with me for the next 2 days on this. Right now, before it gets dark, we want to go scout our blinds in the location where we're going to be, because we got to get out there, you know, before dawn. This is our view from the blind. Rick, this is not an apple orchard like I pictured an apple orchard.
What'd you think it was going to be?
I thought it'd have some trees.
It'd have trees with grown apples.
Yeah, I mean, here's one of the biggest ones right here. How old is this apple tree?
2 years.
2 years old.
2 years, yeah.
The deer have been in, I see this is fenced. We have some barbed wire fence around.
What we did was we fenced it to keep the deer out.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't do any good.
No, I wouldn't imagine. No. I think they could get through this.
They went through them fences just like nothing, yeah.
Well, we're sitting here in a situation where there's this little clearing with an apple orchard, and we have Scotch pines, looks like all around us here, surrounding on this side, then hardwoods behind us.
Right. Goes down to the swamp, cedar swamp.
And you were hunting that blind last night?
Last night I was in that one, yes.
And what'd you see?
One button buck and an I don't know.
And an I don't know, okay. Let's go back and take a look at this blind. John, I think we're going to like this one. This has plenty of room, and it's sitting here on the edge of, well, it sort of dips down behind it. The blind has 360-degree visibility, nice wide opening for the camera and for sighting. This is great. Camoed?
Camoed?
Well, go ahead, Rick. You step in here. John, you can come on in. This is a good height, too. We can set our camera tripod in here. Oh, look at this, John. Look at the size of this. Folks, you're going to love it. We have a great view in here. You might as well come on in, John.
Well, I can't get between these two trees.
You can't get between the trees?
Yeah.
Okay, well, hold it. Get the camera situated and get between these trees so you can get in here.
Okay.
Give it a whack.
Well, yeah, you're your best shot.
Oh, there he goes. He made it. He made it. So, Rick, as we look around here behind us, you say, where are the deer likely to come?
Up through that gully right through there. They run that flats all the way up through there.
So I'll just have to use the scope and pick the shot on that.
Well, yeah.
A lot of trees.
Right. Well, we cleared it, though, for you.
Yeah,
See?
it is very good. Now, on this side, we have this little apple orchard out here. Now, do you expect this is where the deer will be?
Late in the evening, yeah.
Okay.
Late in the evening. Early morning, I don't think you'll see them.
So this is primarily a midday and evening blind?
Right. You'll see them sneaking through here at midday, 10 o'clock or so, but unless they're pushed. And I might be pushing them because I'll be in the swamp.
Please do.
Yeah, push them, will you?
Yeah,
Really?
I'm going to look forward to that. Rick, thanks a ton. If that was this old blind, we now have this old deer camp. But this is not an old deer camp. This is a brand new one. It's small. Rick, this is colossal.
It's different.
I mean, I haven't been inside yet, but I am in love with this place just from the design. And you told me that this is not a cabin design.
No, this is a shed design.
A shed from where?
Wicks lumber.
You mean
Shed.
like to put tools in and stuff?
Right, anything, yeah.
Oh, no,
Chicken
no.
coops.
Chicken coops, look at it. You got a deck out here. This I really think is neat. This sunken grill with a swiveling grate.
Right.
Oh man, I bet you can cook up some steaks on here.
She gets hot. She gets hot.
Be terrific. Well, oh, gas lights.
Gas lights.
There's Pat in there.
Pat's in there.
Let's go in and see Pat. Pat, my man.
How you doing, Fred?
Haven't seen you in ages.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Hey, so you're up here hunting?
Oh yes, well I
I
live
hear
here.
not. You're
Not.
not hunting
Yes,
tomorrow.
Yes, opening day, first time in about 23 years, and I've got to work because I've got problems at work. Now that's dedication.
Problems at work. You're telling me about problems at work?
Well-
Last year I got a show on opening day despite...
That's right.
Oh, I can tell you about problems. We'll have to do that later. But you're going to be out in the afternoon tomorrow?
I'm going to try to be out. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what we came in here for, though, was to look at this. Look at the inside here. Post the pine. Is that what that is, Rick?
Pine.
Pine. So this is a shed. I can't
shed.
believe it's a
Yeah.
shed. Look at this tiered bunk bed deal. 3 bunks. Which one's yours?
The top one.
The top one?
Well, naturally.
Oh, this is great. Even you talk about a tip here, a practical tip. Wooden handle. I think this is the first bunk bed I've ever seen that was designed correctly for
Yeah.
people on the top.
You got to understand who's climbing into it, though.
That's right.
He falls easily.
What's the deal on this regular log across
Well,
here?
that's just an old cedar.
Just
That's
for
hanging clothes and stuff. Yeah,
Oh.
just original. Something different.
neat. Well, the lights you have in here are gas,
You're right.
gas griddle,
Right.
gas heat.
Right.
So there's no electricity here.
Nothing. No.
So how'd you make it?
With a handsaw.
Seriously? You
Really?
did the whole thing by hand?
Right.
This is what are the dimensions in here?
16 by 12.
Oh, the size of a good deer blind.
Yeah.
Actually.
Really? Yeah.
16 by 12. And how much does something like this cost?
I have no idea.
Oh, come on. Do you know, Pat?
Right there.
We got to find that out. We will find that out. And the answer is at the bottom of your screen right now, however much this costs. But this is great. I would like to have one like this with these skylights up over the top. This is sweet.
Energy efficient.
It is. Well, I like it. Well, this is the camp that we're going to be missing because John and I are going to be out in the blind. Rick, he's going to be tromping through the swamp, kicking the deer towards us.
Right.
And Pat's going to be taking care of business.
Business. Somebody has to do that. Somebody has to make the taxes. You know.
Well, I'm glad it's you this year. Terrific. Boy, I could dig a place like this. This is great. John Ford and I planned to get to bed early, but we had a night before deer season invitation we couldn't refuse, a steak dinner with 75 other deer hunters at Paul Kieswetter's. Paul is a Petoskey businessman who has a party on November 14th in a converted barn which looks like an elegant deer camp ballroom. Some of the big bucks from years past grace the walls along with other excellent mounts, and that's where we partook in one aspect of what we call the camaraderie of deer hunting. When this party ended, believe me, we slept well. I know I had it all wrong. No kidding. Don't you hate Monday mornings? I tell you, when you have to go to work, I mean, John and I are here at work. What can I say?
It's rough.
It's rough. Opening day of deer season. This is colossal. We did not expect the snow on the ground like we have, but it is great. Wind is still. The temperature is as high as you can get without the snow melting. The snow gives perfect visibility. I mean, we can look all around in this blind, look behind us, and you can see through the trees, the snow on the ground. I mean, if a deer moves through there, we'll have a relatively easy time of seeing it. That's the beauty of this snow. No wind, no rain. Oh, man. Well, John, you ready to put in a long day?
I'm ready.
Okay, because we got to work today from dawn until dark. Oh, don't you just hate Mondays? Quite a bit of noise in the woods now because the snow is melting off of the trees. It isn't snowing out there, that's all dropping from the trees, and it's making quite a bit of noise. I expect the way the temperature is, though, that we'll have this snow throughout most of the day, remain on the ground. Look at that setup of those decoys. This is primo perfect conditions. I have a buck decoy set up on some pines that are next. Those are all little apple trees out there, 2-year-old apple trees. And the buck is up higher, so it would look like he's standing. The doe in front of him is looking towards him, so they're looking at each other, ears up, so any deer in the area could see him from a distance away. They're out there in the middle of that snowy, clear area. So they're highly visible, and that's the ideal location for decoys. Another thing that makes it ideal is these woods are dark, hard for us to see deer in the woods. And hopefully, oftentimes what happens is when a deer sees a decoy like this, they'll come to the edge of the woods to look at it. And that would give us a chance to see deer that we might not be able to see otherwise. See her? She just stepped. Well, she stopped and she's looking at the decoys. Now she's moving. You should be able to see her there somewhere. She's up there, I think, from where you're looking. She's moving now. She's going towards the decoys, and there was a shot right on the other side of the cabin. It must have been Tom. She appears to be interested in the decoys. You picked her up? I mean, you saw her?
I saw her just briefly.
Well, the first success we've seen of opening day this year. Hey, a little spike. Might as well unload here for a second. Put my gun down. Well, that's a nice size one, though. So what's the story, Tom?
The story is that this little guy came running across this ridge over there by these pine trees. And I watched him walk down through here. He ran through these little thickets and came down on this little trail right here. Ran around this pine tree right here. And
back out?
right here gave me a pretty good shot, so I decided to take him in the neck, and that was it.
Well, you saved all the meat there. Those are about
Yeah.
6-7 inch spikes.
Yep.
Well, that's super.
He's a little guy, but
You got a
That
bigger
tastes
one.
good.
You got a bigger one last year, didn't you?
yes, I did.
What
Got a
time?
nice one. Just about 15 minutes after this one.
No kidding.
This one's about 10:15.
Joel, come here a second. To find out the man with the land here, the land baron sports shop owner.
Yeah, well,
Full bit.
Tommy's pretty lucky. Last 3 years, opening day by 10:30, he's had a buck every day. I don't know. I think we're going to have to raise the dues here for him to hunt.
Well, what is the scoop on this? Seemed rather quiet. I've never hunted up in this corner of the state on the opener, but
Well, last year at about 11 o'clock, we had probably over 22, 23 shots fired, and this morning I counted 9. So it's a slow opener. But down in the swamps and everything else, there was just a ton of water coming down, and it just really wasn't a good day for deer moving. I'm hoping tonight will be a little bit better.
oh, we saw a lot of tracks in the snow in the orchard. But you said there wasn't much in the swamp?
And there was nothing in the swamp. During archery season, we've been seeing a tremendous amount of deer down there. In fact, we called them F Troop. There were so many of them. And this morning down in that same area, I never saw a thing.
I'll be darned. Well, Tommy, this is just the start, huh?
Just a start. It's an early opener. We got 14 days left.
Does that mean you're going to shave now with this buck? Or?
No, not until the end of the season.
Okay, that's reasonable. You think it's a buck?
I don't know. I thought I saw something.
I thought I did too, but but he's a button buck, right?
Yep.
A little deer out here can be useful. Oh, look, he's relieving himself. He can be useful because his eyes and ears are better than ours, and he can look around and listen to where other deer are coming in. Yes, he's looking off into the pines. Yeah, now he's looking at us. I doubt if he can hear us. Doesn't act like it. See, he makes a lot of noise while he's chomping on those apples and eating. But they still have pretty good hearing. But we'll keep our eye on him to tell us when other deer are coming in. Frankly, I kind of hope he doesn't get too close to us because it makes it difficult for us to move. Who's unnerved by the fact that decoys don't move. Yeah, he's keyed right in on the decoys. It's funny, it took him this long to see him. I thought he saw him before, but oh, he's definitely keying on the decoys, and he's not sold. Do you have him in the frame, John?
Yeah, I did. I'm zooming out now. I'm on into the decoys.
Okay, well, he's stomping, moving his head. His tail is still flared.
Now I'm back over to him.
Yeah, he's dodging his head, stomping, flared tail. That's typical of a doe or like a button buck. But our experience has been with a breeding type of buck, it would move in on him. But he's not real pleased.
Following him.
Boy, look at that tail.
Now he's right behind a tree.
Well, he's still got his tail up and he's stomping.
Okay, there I can see him again.
That's why they call him a white tail. Boy, he can put several square feet of white flared hair up as a signal. Now we'll just have to wait for a buck to come in on this, a real buck. Yeah, it seems, well, now it's almost 5 o'clock. We've had a few deer back and forth. It's going to probably go through the fence right now. They've been around the decoys, looking at the decoys, but they're not bucks, so they're not tremendously interested. Now it's crossing back. You're going to see it in the woods.
Yeah, I see him.
Okay. Well, that's been the story. It's been kind of uneventful, but exciting. Seeing deer like that in the woods moving. Hard to pick up with your eyes, but it really makes it exciting. We still could have a buck out here yet. Probably have 15, 20 minutes of light left. Shooting hours. Maybe more than that. That looks like it's walking straight off.
Yep.
Here it is, noontime, the second day of deer season. We're in Washtenaw County. You're waiting for my big report. What did we get? What do we have to report? Nothing! We're going to lunch. Hey, Bruce.
Yes, sir.
Did you see anything?
Nothing this morning. We jumped 3 when I was walking around looking for a hit we got last night, but as far as an actual shot, no, sir. Just tails, that's it.
So, what do you make of it? This has been a slow opener down here, too?
Yeah, very much slow. There's the lack of hunters, which is probably one of the biggest problems, and also the lack of the weather we need to keep them moving. The rut is still in full prime right now out here, and it's just a matter of time, just sitting it out and waiting for them to move.
What do you think about Saturday, this coming. Is
Yeah.
this going to be like the opener this Saturday?
Yes, I believe it will. You're going to see a lot more local pressure from people coming out from the city out to this area, which they do about every weekend. The state lands are going to be just flooded with people. And it's just going to, we're blessed with this 400 acres here that we got. And you don't have the worries of too much hunting pressure. But that
Definitely.
sometimes is
Yeah.
the drawback of it, too, because the deer's get in the marshes and the swamps, and they just lay there. And nobody will bring them out until they want to come out.
Well, we're going to move up another place after lunch. We have a treat of all treats here. Now, this recipe is called Cajun Venison over Noodles, but this is not just any venison. This is venison inside tenderloins.
Yeah.
I mean, this is comparable to filet mignon in the beef world. I mean, this is the most tender part of the deer, which Al Chase from Battle Creek got. And here, I'll give you some noodles here first. And I'll just take the meat. What do you think about that?
That's fine. Whatever you want to do.
And Carrie Chase, of course, prepares these dishes.
Course.
And well, go ahead and dig into this. This, I know, if there's any meat that you can cut with a fork, it's the filet mignon, like inside tenderloins from a deer. Oh, yes, right. Well, they didn't cut as easy as I thought it was going to. That always happens on television.
Yeah, always.
But let me taste this. The ingredients we have right over here. The reason I guess you call it Cajun, Carrie, is because of the ground red pepper
Yeah, it's kind of hot.
and the paprika. Otherwise, it has mushroom soup and sour cream and milk and a few things like that in it. Well, I wouldn't say it's real hot. How do you rank this one now?
It's good. The first time she made it, it
The
was real
noodles
hot.
are hot.
It was real
The
hot.
noodles are hot?
Yeah, the noodles
They
are
pick
They
up the
have a
heat?
kick.
Yeah, yeah.
You feel it?
Yeah, the noodles come right on there. They're holding their own with the heat. But this doesn't taste like venison. I mean, really.
No,
Does
it's
it?
not real strong tasting, or like a lot of people. Some of the other recipes I've had, you could really taste the venison. This is just sort of mild. And
Well, the inside tenderloins are the most tender, but they really don't have the flavor,
right.
You
Or the
know.
strongness, like if it's a buck, you
No.
don't have that real strong
But
flavor
you
inside.
butcher all your own deer yourself.
Exactly, yeah.
Bone them out.
Bone them out.
Trim them.
Yeah, nothing that I cut has bones in it. I debone everything.
Oh.
The front and the back. And
And that
everything.
makes a lot of difference.
Yeah.
Carrie, that gives you an edge with your
Right.
recipes right off the bat.
It's all done. The meat was all done like that when you
Yeah.
brought it.
Well, I'll tell you what. By the time we're eating now, and they've taken this out of the stove, this is cold. Mm-hmm. And cold venison that isn't trimmed
It's bad.
it's often tallowy, but not this.
Yes, that's really nice.
Oh, this is great. Well, I'll tell you what, Chase, you two as a team, with Al getting the game and cutting it up and you cooking it, you're a winning team.
Thank you.
Traffic is ferocious right now through the town of Dexter. Everybody wants to find out how was opening day and how was the second day of the season. We've been trying to bring it to you from the blinds. John, why don't you flip the light on? We're here at Mill Creek Sports, and we have loads and loads of people. These are not all successful hunters, I just know it. Are they? No, they're not. They're here spectators watching, but we have a buck pole that won't quit. Who got these bucks? Did you guys get these bucks? No. No. Nobody got. I think the people with the bucks are up here close. Here's the man whose buck pole this is. You've had this buck pole going how many years?
Why am I on film? I think I'm the
No,
only
don't
one that
worry
doesn't
about
have
it.
a buck up here.
No, you got them all here. In fact, Ray sleeps here at night, right?
Yeah, we had to sleep here to make sure that nobody made off with anybody's deer.
Well, that's
I will
good,
admit.
because these are whopping bucks. And this is how many years you've had the buck pole?
Well, the pole itself, actually, this is only about the third year for it.
And how many bucks do you have this year?
I think at last count, somebody said we had about 30 on the pole.
And how's that compare with years before?
Well, last year I think we had about 25 or so. So
So
they got a little increase.
the count
That
is up.
surprised me because at the last minute we had some guys come in here today with them. So.
What do you attribute that to?
Gosh, I really don't know. I mean, yesterday was a little bit light, and then today they started really pouring them in. So.
Well, of course, this is the place where people learn to come to bring their bucks on
That's-
opening day.
Yeah, that's true.
Where are the people who got some of these biggest ones? Do you know
I'll
who
tell
they
you,
are?
boy, there's some ladies up.
Well, next week we'll be talking to some of these ladies and guys who got these trophies. We're looking for some of the biggest bucks we can find in all point categories, from spike bucks on up for Big Buck Night, which will be telecast statewide Thursday, December 9th. So let us know about your trophy buck. You know, Saturday there'll be lots of hunters in the woods. Be safe, have a good time, and I'll see you right here next week. See you then.